Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to rumble.com/JJW. I am still JJW. And this is where we talk about news and politics and culture and pop culture and movies and comics and stuff that's in the news. Sometimes there isn't a whole lot of stuff in the news, and sometimes there's way too much. But I still find the best way to start your day. Started off with a little bit of news, drink some coffee, listen to some nobodies on the internet, talk about things that matter and things that don't matter. But here we are, and I think Deacon's doing something. He's here. I see him. There he is. Oh, good morning, Deacon. Whoops, I have a giraffe behind me. That's a giraffe. That doesn't seem appropriate for the holidays. I was messing around yesterday, and I moved things around.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Hello. I'm tired. I'm ready to
go
and go to bed.
Yeah. Man, I think maybe I'm a little bit like under the weather. Not sick, but like I definitely feel like down. You know what I mean? Like a little low energy, personally. I hope not too. Because
I don't like the holidays. I have to force myself to remain happy and cheery just so that because nobody else gives a flying crap if I'm in a bad mood or not, if I'm in an upset mood. So I don't want to rain on everybody else's parade because they love the holidays. So it's really a struggle for me it always has been to push through the holidays and just be like, hey, because I get so I'm just one of these. I get down. I don't like the holidays. My brain takes over my body and it just starts evaluating I don't like the holidays. I just don't like this time of year. It doesn't put a smile on my face. It's so I have to fake it, all the way through the holidays. So
do you think perhaps that has to do with like the weather and the lack of sunshine, or is it like
probably
traumas?
And it's not so much traumas. Yeah, I'm more than 100% likely, or I'm 100% sure that it has something to do with chemicals not being correct in my brain.
Yeah. Well, and maybe it's like hearsay or old wives' tale or something like that. But I remember hearing that things like the low amount of sunlight and the gray clouds and foggy stuff like depresses like your vitamin D levels or something else. And humans, especially humans that live like farther north than I do, during the winter, the sun's just gone. For like months at a time. It's just gray sky. And the last couple days here, it's been gray sky down here. And I don't know if there's a storm coming through or something like that, but like there's no sunshine and it's just no sun. And I think people humans are just like, oh, there's no sun. Even if you don't think about it, you know what I mean? Like, I think there's a like physiological response to not having
and I take vitamin
sunlight.
D at home. We've got several different types of vitamin D. And I take some. We've got some little vitamin D gummies that I take.
Yeah.
So, and that's one of the things that if we start feeling like we're starting to get the sniffles or somebody's sick around us, we go in there and we start popping vitamin D like they're freaking Tic Tacs, man. You can't take too much or it'll give you the poops. But if you take too much vitamin D, it makes your stomach upset. But
it's definitely good for like your immune system too, to make sure that you're and vitamin D is one of those things that you have to take supplements because we don't get enough naturally in our foods, and the best way your body produces it is by being exposed to sunlight. And most of the time we're all stuck indoors, or we are, or, in the winter, the sun's just not there. So like if you don't have the sunlight to, to create vitamin D, then then you're just not going to have enough. You are deficient, and almost everybody is deficient in vitamin D. So
Right.
those supplements are necessary, but that doesn't necessarily make you
Yeah.
feel better.
And it's
I
not,
don't know.
and
Maybe it
it's not
does.
necessarily what everyone's problem is at Christmas time
Right.
when they don't like. That was just mine. I think is all 100% chemicals are not at the levels they're supposed to be in my brain, and especially this type of time of year. I don't know.
Well, if big
Not a gift
pharma and chemical
giving.
and if big pharma's taught us anything, it's that you should definitely monkey around with those chemicals as much as you can to just guess and try to get it right. what's
Well, I have
what's the
done.
harm?
I have monkeyed around with the chemicals in my brain with pills that they said would work,
Yeah.
and yeah, they didn't
Hey,
work.
maybe we need to get Mood as a sponsor for our show. I've been seeing these Mood advertisements on YouTube. It's these little gummies that apparently are cannabis derived, and they're like, "Oh, taking this gummy and I changed my mood." I'm like, "You're an idiot."
I mean, I believe that crap. Unless you take a cannabis gummy and it doesn't I mean, and that shit affects everybody the same as penicillin and the same as alcohol. People need to remember that when they talk about marijuana and whatnot. Marijuana is a substance just like any other drug. It helps some people and it hurts other people. Okay.
Oh well, that's
Uh,
probably true.
so marijuana is I'm not going to have the exact same effect as you do. Me and my brother was always a great example when I would say if me and my brother shared a joint, I would be one of those people that would be standing up and picking up and cleaning and straightening up and wanting to go and let's mow the yard and let's start that construction project. And Logan is one of those people that would sit on the couch and just be like,
Yeah.
and not move. Or he would sit behind the drums and be playing the most intricate shit you've ever heard in your life, and you look over and he's got like a toothpick hanging out of his mouth. It looks like he's just sitting there not doing anything, but he's
Yeah.
playing difficult crap you've ever
So
heard.
my thoughts on this are more related to the potency of the product that could and would be distributed via the United States Postal Service.
Oh,
Like
I don't know
how
about the United States Postal
well that
Service and the rules and the laws that go into that, but if you were to go
oh
out and get some in the stores and whatnot, yeah, you JJ that doesn't partake in anything, it would flat knock you on your butt.
you think so?
You don't need to be in charge of children. Right. I
Okay.
mean, it would, and it affects it. If it might
Well,
not affect you as much
hey
as it
Mood.
affect.
Hey moodcompany.com. Listen to this guy right here. He's a good pitch for you. You guys probably should
Um, I've known several people that see in Kentucky you can't. It's not. We just have the Delta 8, which is the same thing except it's just made from hemp and not
uh-huh.
marijuana nuts.
Well, apparently this stuff is like of all 50 states it's legal. See, this is why I'm thinking it's
That's
like
Delta
how
8. I think it's probably Delta 8 gummies that
yeah.
and I know
Find
people
out. We'll
that
find out.
take that are not so much epileptic, but have seizures, and they now take these Delta 8 gummies on a regular basis because it medically helps them. And
You
I
are right. It is
yeah,
25 milligrams of Delta 8. What does that mean? I
Delta
don't know
8.
what that
Okay,
means.
so that is a way that it is that the marijuana and the hemp is processed to get the so when you smoke the plant, you're wanting to get the THC out of it, and that's what gives you your buzz, your head buzz. But there's other things in the plant as well that we found, and some things that are medicinal, like CBD and whatnot. So we have found scientific ways instead of just burning the shit. We found other ways to extract the good stuff from the plant and we can leave the bad stuff away. So that's why we have edibles, and that's why we have all these other different ways to ingest this stuff now. You don't have to burn it anymore to inhale the smoke to get what it is. We have other ways to get it. So that's what we found, and this is one way that they found to get this CBD out of it, but they don't get all of the THC out of it by extracting it this way. And
Hmm.
wasn't Clinton, it was Obama. Obama passed this law to like stop some stuff, but it didn't. It's a big, long freaking process that I don't know all of the details of. But basically, the law said you can't do this, but it didn't regulate the hemp. So they make Delta 8 out of hemp to circumvent the law, and they
So
haven't
there
written
is a
another law
loophole.
around it. It's a loophole that they don't care about because it's making hundreds of millions and millions and millions of dollars in this country. It's just a way that
Money.
they extract the CBD. It's got a little bit of THC in it, so you are getting a little bit of the head change, you know, when you take it. But the gummies are supposed the CBD is to me is a miracle drug, man. It is a miracle drug. It is doing a lot of different stuff.
So I don't know what this word here means, and I can barely read it on my screen. It says 100 milligrams of ashwagandha. Ashwagandha. Does that sound like a familiar term?
No, that's
Oh,
another plant. Ashwagandha is a plant. That's a different
okay. Well,
substance.
I'm not gonna spend $25 on this
No,
myself,
you
but
you wouldn't need to, but if you
yeah,
were somebody that you were having you had insomnia and you couldn't sleep and you've tried
yeah.
melatonin and you
That's what it
didn't
looks
want to
like. It
take,
does.
you could take this and it might help you. Or if you're one of these people like me that I don't eat a lot and my appetite is screwed up and I really try to need to gain some weight, you could eat some and maybe hopefully stimulate. They give marijuana to cancer patients to help them stimulate their hunger and to
Oh, that's a
suppress
good point.
their queasiness and whatnot. So I mean there and
Oh,
if you were someone that took that had seizures and whatnot, you may want to look into this.
sorry about the boom there. Miguel says, "Is mood real cannabis or is it artificial Delta 8 THC?" So it says it's Delta 8 and it has ashwagandha in it,
But it's
and
not,
it's like a calming
artificial
thing, I guess.
THC. Delta 8 is not artificial THC. It is a different part, and it's a different way that they extract. You're not even extracting the THC, you're getting a part of it as a byproduct. I've really looked
Yeah,
into this. Hang on, this is what this is. This is
yeah,
Delta 8 that I
yeah.
puff.
He's got to do that. That's okay. I'll look at the comments here. So David says ashwagandha forever. You got my wife.
Oh, what are you laughing at?
David says ashwagandha forever. And my wife thought that was funny. So good job, David. That's hilarious. Man, I mean that's so good. I could have used that on a title card.
That is pretty good.
uh, oh man.
So it's not a bad thing. We have been sold that marijuana is a bad thing for us, and it's a drug. We've been sold that for 100 years in this country, and we need to open our minds a little bit and open our eyes and realize that it is a substance that, yes, it can hurt people, and too much of it can cause some damage in other ways, but
Right.
it does help some people just like every other drug that we regulate and sell in this country, and I don't know why that we don't do it to help these people. I have personally watched members of my family who have had seizures and fallen down flights of steps and have went and seen every doctors in the world, now ingest this type of stuff and don't have any seizures anymore. So, I mean, there's something to it.
Mm.
There's something
Well, laws and stuff like that are generally written by people that are like uh highly
ignorant,
motivated for whatever reason and
right?
highly moralist and like they think they aren't, but then they want to apply their values of whatever's right and wrong and institute them as law. And I certainly can understand, especially growing up in a culture of like drugs are bad, drugs are harmful, they're gonna hurt, and parents they want to protect their kids. They don't want their kids doing
Right. Yeah.
experimenting with stuff and harming their kids. So I mean, a lot of that makes sense. So yeah, we have a lot of law in place that is put in place by people wanting to protect their either highly motivated to protect their own families, or maybe they lost someone from some sort of a a little unguided adventurism. And then once they're kind of ingrained in law, it's really hard to get things changed.
Okay,
And
so
I kind of, on this issue, I kind of
what if
default to like maximum freedom and less
what if,
government,
okay,
less
so
law.
wait a minute, JJ. What if you have this product that is going to help people that are in chronic pain?
Right.
Okay. You have this product that is cheap and is going to help people enormously with chronic pain. We're talking 50% help or more. Okay. So that's enormous. That's a big change.
Are
All
there
right.
any?
You're
Are there
important.
any? Are
There's
there
no
any
side.
like? Are there any scientific studies that can demonstrably,
We have been
prove
doing
this?
scientific studies on this for years, and we're still doing them today, and every one of them have been positive. There are some
Yeah.
negatives, but every one of them have been positive for eliminating pain. What my company does, I have a company that mass produces pain medication, and you have a company that's fixing to put my company that's fixing to cut my company's profits in
Right.
half, at least in half. What do you think I'm gonna do?
Man, okay, I see what you're saying. So you're saying Big Pharma has an investment in their opiate-derived mass poisons to keep that production up.
That's how you worded it, but I can't say it so eloquently as you did, but
Well, I don't think anybody
I'm
accused me of
just
being
pointing
eloquent, but
out I'm just pointing
yeah,
out obvious things.
there's
Okay? If
definitely
you
there's
had a
definitely
pharmaceutical company
competing
and I was
interests.
gonna take 50% of your profits with this wonder drug that I can grow in my fucking backyard, then, then you are gonna do everything in your power to keep
Right,
the drug as restricted as possible, because as soon as you are able to
that's a good
grow
point.
this in your backyard, you're not going to go and buy my drug anymore.
And okay, I take your point about competing interests, actors attempting to influence the market of ideas, and I'm going to add to that. If you are a lawmaker, you're, let's say, a representative, you got elected to go make laws, and there's issues that you care about, and maybe your issues are like roads, or maybe your issues are like military spending. There's a lot of military families in my area, whatever. There's some things of which you are interested and some things of which you are knowledgeable, and then there's other issues that you have to pass laws on that you are not knowledgeable on, that you are not especially interested in. So those people are the ones who lobbyists can go to and say, hey, this is, keep this legislation down, keep this legislation up. Here's good reasons why our drugs are good, or here's good reasons why you should introduce this. And a lawmaker that otherwise doesn't really have like a lot of personal like information on a given issue, they may defer to people that present as knowledgeable or lobbyists in some way. So I mean, that's just the way that our kind of system
Right.
works. You
And it
can't.
doesn't,
We're expecting people to make law. First of all, stop making laws, but we're expecting people to make laws when they're about all things, when people are not knowledgeable about all things.
and it doesn't even have to get that far. It could be how many votes me as a lobbyist realizes that I need X amount of votes to get this
Yeah,
thing passed. So I'm going to all these little junior representatives and Congress people that aren't big names and are people that you don't know. And I'm going to tell them, hey, you like it up here? Well, I can help you get reelected. I can give you the maximum amount of money I can give to
yeah,
your campaign fund next year and help you. And all you got to do is just not show up to the vote or vote yes for this little bitty rinky dinky
yeah.
thing. So they
You
don't
take
have
your
to influence the big dogs like these people here on the screen. They can
or
get all these names that
or
you
they
don't
can
know.
go right to these people, and then these people go around the house and whip
Right.
up the
That's how it
votes they need.
happens. Mitch
Hey,
McConnell knows I
hey,
know 20 people that I can get right
yeah,
now that's
that's
going to vote
right.
yes.
That's right. That's sure
So
thing.
every one of
All
those
right.
people come with built-in votes, you know?
Guys, you're so cynical about lawmakers. They want to do what's good for the country.
Mhm,
Okay.
mhm.
Whatever.
They wanna do what's good for their pocketbook.
Uh-huh.
They start
Um,
off that way.
Yeah.
Every lawmaker, every one of most of them, I won't say every one of them, but most of them starts off with the, "I'm going to do some good," even
I
if it's
can make a
5
change. I
minutes.
can make
Yeah,
a difference.
even if it's for 5 minutes, it's, "I can make a
I
difference."
can
And they've
I
got
can do it.
somebody
Here's the
beside
thing.
them that's gonna go, "That's right, honey, you can make a difference." And then
They
they get paid.
yeah.
They see that
So
they can get free shit.
yeah, I can change things. So, like we have a certain system in place to elect our representatives. And unfortunately, as a kind of like systemic kind of defect, it only filters in people that are like massive narcissists. Because the only people that would run for a position are people that like think that they can like convince other people to vote for them, right? They're like there's a certain personality trait, a certain set of personality traits that are what you need in order to succeed in these kind of contests. And those personality traits are not necessarily the same ones that make good decisions or good systems or good structures. No, we elect the people that are the very best at promoting themselves and getting other people to support them and have massive egos and massive like self-confidence. Okay, but then none of our election system is designed to filter in the people that have like the most knowledge or are the most reasonable or can make deals, can make like negotiations. So we have the best system in the world, except it also is bad. It's not just not great. All right. Deacon, I thought it would be good to, and we're going to get to the story of the day here, but I thought maybe it would be good to start talking about Christmas movies. Because, like Christmas is approaching, and I realize that maybe it's not the best season, and that maybe you don't love it so much, but I think some Christmas movies, even some Christmas movies would probably appeal to you. And I think I have some. But I'm going
Okay.
to start with just one today. Uh, so today's Christmas movie from the
Yeah.
Funslinger Christmas movie list. Today's Christmas movie is. Hold on, stop playing a trailer. Let me pull it up here. It's Gremlins. Gremlins is a Christmas movie, sir.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
not
It
only
it
a
takes
Christmas
Christmas.
movie. They actually play like Christmas songs in the
Yeah,
movie.
in the movie. You're right.
Yeah, yeah. So if you haven't ever seen Gremlins, well, I'm sure you've seen Gremlins, right?
Well, I
Everybody.
have, but there's probably some younger, I mean, my kids have never seen Gremlins.
This movie is from I think 1984. It's like circa the same time as like Back to the Future. This movie is
Oh, I
so
forgot
fun.
Phoebe Cates.
Yeah, I bet there's somebody else you forgot is in this movie.
Oh,
Although
there
you only see him for a
Hoyt
second.
Axton was in this movie too. That the dad
Yeah,
is Hoyt Axton. He
yeah.
was a famous
He's
singer.
great. I love him in
Yeah.
this. He plays an inventor, and his inventions are terrible. But his character is an inventor that is constantly trying to,
Oh,
like,
Corey Feldman.
yes, Corey Feldman is in this
I
movie.
forgot. He's a
Yes, he
fool in this
absolutely
movie.
is.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So, so the dad character visits this like mystic uh, shop in Chinatown and brings home a mogwai, a mogwai.
Are you really giving us the synopsis of the film?
Well, I'm
Like
telling I'm
we've never
telling people that
seen
have
this? Okay.
you. I just said this, and you said there's people that haven't seen it.
I
I
don't think
bet.
you watch our show, but
Oh, you think the overlap of people that would see our show, they've already definitely seen Gremlins.
I don't think yeah. Yeah.
my, my wife's like, probably, you idiot.
See? I don't
Okay.
think there's anybody watching our show right now that is under the
Yeah.
age of 20 or
I
30.
don't definitely probably not. Definitely probably not. Oh wow, look at that. The rocket chair. There you go. So anyway,
What a corny
great.
movie. And man, let me
It's
tell you,
so good.
what a terrible part 2. Gremlins
Yeah,
2
yeah, just
would be the worst
no.
movie on the face of the planet, man. They
There
take
is
over an office building.
yeah. There's a pretty funny YouTube video about how that movie got made. It's like, I think it's called like the Gremlins 2 pitch or something like that. And in the Gremlins 2 pitch, they were just like, we need a sequel to this movie. Let's have some ideas. Everyone around the table. And literally people were just saying anything. One with lightning powers, one with, a surfboard or whatever. And it was like, sounds good. Let's just put it in there.
Yeah, let's put it in. Any
Gremlins
gremlin
2
you
is
can come up
terrible.
with. Yeah, you can come up with. I said that to Ashley last night. I don't remember what we were watching, but I started explaining the synopsis of the film, and she was looking at me, rolling her eyes. And I was like, no, I'm serious. More than one person had to agree that this was a good movie in order to get this made. I don't remember what movie it was now. I'll have to text her and ask her, but I was sitting there
Yeah.
poking.
Oh, yeah.
I
Yeah.
was like, more than one person had to agree
So
that this is a good idea.
there's one part of this movie that I think that you would maybe not like the most, but probably most identify with. So there's this one point where Billy and the girl are kind of like walking through town. And I guess I guess he's just optimistic, and it's like, it's Christmas time. And she's like, not everybody likes Christmas time.
Right.
And he's like, oh, come on, everybody loves Christmas. And and she's like, well, some people want to cut their wrists at Christmas. And goes on to tell the story about how her dad like was gone
Died on Christmas.
gone to
Yeah.
deliver Christmas, gone to deliver presents, and they couldn't find her, and he was gone for a couple days, and they went to go start a fire, and they noticed a horrible smell, and apparently her dad had fallen down the chimney and broke his neck. So
Wonderful
anyway,
kids movie.
yeah, great movie. Yeah, maybe a little bit older than my kids. My kids,
Oh,
if
your
I tried
kids
to show,
watch Gremlins.
if
Yeah,
I
those
if
are-
I showed my wife my kids Gremlins, my wife would be like,
no,
I don't know, I'd probably be sleeping on the couch.
even my
Yeah,
10-year-old.
I'm getting the
Yeah. No, even my
littlest stare.
10-year-old, I wouldn't show Maggie Gremlins. She would still maybe Alex and Deacon. They're 15 and up, and Kendra, they could watch it, and that would be
I
fun.
think you could watch this at 12.
Probably, but I wouldn't show Maggie. I personally, Maggie, she wouldn't. Maybe my other daughter.
Oh, the guys are arguing about worst movie. Hold on, let's see what's going on here.
Worst movie.
Did I say, who said Miguel? Did I say Miguel Manuel? Sorry, dude. It's like 6:30.
Christmas.
If I said that, I'm sorry. I can't believe I said Miguel. So David says that Gremlins is an amazing Christmas movie. Thank you, sir. We got 9 more movies. Some of them are, ones you'd expect, but I think I got an ace up my sleeve. That's a good one that you guys don't think about.
You think so? Do I need to come up with a movie?
You're welcome to.
I've got.
You
some,
can see my list. You can see my list.
Some of my favorite Christmas movies that I like to watch, but Gremlins is a good one. I like that one. Can I pick this one with you?
Yeah,
There's
absolutely.
a couple that they're Christmas movies that I like. It's not like I watch them every year, but there's a couple Christmas movies that I like that you probably don't. There's one in particular, but it's my chick flick movie that I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm curious about that, and everybody's gonna have to continue to tune in to find out when you drop it, because I don't know when you're gonna tell me about it.
I don't care to tell you right now. I don't care what
you got my list is over in our forum, so you can go through my list. I put all mine in there, and then so you can see if yours is in the list or not, and you can throw some at me.
Let me go look at the list real quick and see if yours is actually.
Jeremy says, hold on. So Jeremy says most people define Christmas movie as a film that expresses fundamental Christmas themes and traditions. I think these people like crappy movies. Okay. And then I don't know how this is in context, but then he starts talking about Zardoz. I don't know I don't know how it goes from A to B there, but he starts talking about Zardoz as a bad movie. All right.
Here, you want me to? I'll go ahead.
Manuel said he showed his daughter A Christmas Story, and she enjoyed it. She was 8. I have still not seen A Christmas Story, to my recollection. And
what?
My wife is telling me that we have to watch it. So we're gonna have to find a time, maybe this weekend.
You've missed that point of life. JJ.
Oh, have
You
I?
can't enjoy A Christmas Story as much now as when you would have to watch it like
I
every freaking year as a kid
I
growing up.
I
You've missed
feel
that.
like I've seen it in that it was playing and I walked through the room or something like that, or I was paying no attention as a child because I remember the leg lamp thing, if that's that movie, and I remember the tongue stuck to the pole, the flagpole, and if that's that movie, and that's all I remember. I don't remember anything else. I think I must have thought that this is a movie that was supposed to be for adults or something. I don't know. I don't know what Jeremy's talking about. What did we watch in the theater? What did you think you would watch in the theater? Because I never watched this. I never watched A Christmas Story in the theater. If you put a wonderful, okay, David says, if you put a wonderful, It's a Wonderful Life on the list, I will never listen to the show again. Let me just go check that list real quick. Because I have fond memories of It's a Wonderful Life. But they're not necessarily associated with that movie. It's more associated with I watched that movie with my family when I was a child. So, Manuel says, Deacon, I take it you have never seen the Dragon Ball Evolution movie. That's the worst movie ever made. I think you're talking to Jeremy. Live action Dragon Ball movie. Just saying. Deacon, have you ever watched a Dragon Ball movie?
No.
What's a I almost want to say what's a Dragon Ball, but I think
but...
everybody knows that it's a cartoon, right?
Oh, it's a cartoon? I thought it was a video game. I don't know. I'm too old for that shit. I was too old for that.
I was also. My brother knows all about Dragon. I'm pretty sure he's seen like all the Dragon Ball cartoons because when he was a kid and when he was in high school, like all that stuff was all over. And him and his buddy Thrust were like way into that. And I was just like, this doesn't look good. I don't understand why you're watching this. All right. Okay, let's move on. So Gremlins, Christmas movie of the day. Love it. Did you get Oh, what? Did I do something wrong?
No, I have a pet peeve in this world. And my
family
does it. I have several pet peeves, but my family does this pet peeve of mine, and it drives me bonkers. And I just realized that is why I think this is one of the reasons why me and Jeremy we don't see eye to eye on some things is because he takes me literal for everything I say literally. And my family does too. And let me tell you something about Deacon that you might not know. I embellish a little bit on things. Sometimes I will inflate a couple of times to make it sound a little better in the story. Okay. So when I use a phrase like Gremlins 2 is the worst movie ever, I'm not literally meaning the worst movie out of all the movies.
Yeah. It just goes in the bad movie bucket, right?
Right.
You put it in, like there's movies that are like, I'm watching this again. It'll be great. And there's movies that are like, I've seen it.
I think my comedy I think sometimes my comedy misses you and him because you miss some of my jokes too that I think in the past you've thought I've been serious about things that I have been completely joking on, but like presenting it in a serious way. You know, because sometimes I don't want to get in trouble by YouTube, so I say stuff a certain way and I'm poking fun at myself. Like when I say white people suck and we should kill all the white people. Yeah, it's the same thing.
Right.
So
I take you at joking there. Other times though, I do think it's either
is the topic of conversation. Okay, I understand. He's just okay. He's saying, yeah, he uses sarcasm all the time, but that's what we were talking. We were talking about Gremlins, and I went off track and talked about Gremlins too. So I'm not gonna go take another road and talk about some fucking movie that I can't even pronounce. All right. So I know I don't even know where we're at anymore.
Yeah, hold on. What's this? I see something here. It looks like it's the actual you were gonna say something?
I was gonna freaking no, go ahead. I've already I'm gonna close my I was gonna do my Christmas movie.
Do your Christmas movie.
No,
it.
Closed it. I'm not opening it back up. Well, then we're gonna sit here for another 24 minutes. I got a break coming up, so that's not a big deal to me. I can just shut
Do
off
your
the
Christmas
board.
movie.
No, I've
What's your Christmas?
closed it
Okay.
already.
All right. Control H. Open your history.
No.
I just
Do
thought
your
we were
story.
meandering about Gremlins. We got to do something. Move on.
Do it. I don't care anymore. I'm ready to go.
All
Come
right.
on.
All right. So I got this, and I got one more story to talk about. Or maybe pull up your history of your browser and find that movie. All right. Amazon is likely to reboot Stargate as Brad Pitt's pilot is destined to gather dust. Deacon, did you ever watch Stargate?
Yeah.
Did you
Yes, I
like
did.
Stargate?
Yes.
Okay,
And it
let's
wasn't
start with
Brad Pitt.
Stargate movie. Kurt Russell, James Spader. Amazing, right? It's a great movie.
Good movie.
And then there was the TV show. What's the TV show called? SG-1.
Mm-hmm.
And it had MacGyver and some other people.
Mm-hmm. Playing the same
Were you
characters.
same characters, different actors. Were you a Stargate TV show fan? I mean, I just have to assume everybody was a fan of the movie. Just have to.
Yes, I watched the
And
TV
then
show too.
you liked it?
Yes.
How big a fan? Where would you put yourself on the fan thermometer?
Yeah.
Like middling. I'd say about the same thing, to be honest. Like it was like, oh, this is fun, and sometimes it'd be like, I've seen this before. So
Yeah.
and they did like aliens and like Asgard or whatever, all this other stuff. Okay.
Some storylines were not as good as others. Well,
Yeah.
the main storyline chasing what's his name's wife, but
I definitely liked when what is it? Dean Anderson, the Richard Dean Anderson was on it. I liked him because I liked him from MacGyver. He had a lot of what do you call it? Like this kind of personality where he's like this totally almost disinterested in being wherever he was at. Like he was just on a mission and he was just like, I'm not excited about this. I like this character. Okay, and then following Stargate SG-1, they had Stargate Atlantis, and they had. Did you watch the spinoff Stargate Atlantis? Okay, and then following Stargate Atlantis, that's the one that had Jason Momoa. That was kind of his big break. He did like I don't know 6 seasons of that show. David says he loved watching the movie. Don't think any of the dates did. David took multiple girls on a date to go see Stargate Atlantis when it came out. Oh my god. that is the most hilarious. Oh my god. Because I know when you were a teenager, you were like, I want to see this movie. I'm going to take this girl. And then you saw it and you're like, I want to see it again. I'm going to take some other girl. Oh my God. That's some funny shit right there, sir. Thank you. Okay. And then my favorite Stargate series was Stargate Universe. And the fans of the TV show like revolted or something like that. So Amazon is, I guess, acquiring the rights to Stargate property from MGM, and Amazon's got a pretty good track record of adapting properties into new shows. For instance, they took the Wheel of Time books, for which I've been a fan probably my entire adult life, and they turned that into a TV show. Yes, you can. Let's see. What else have they adapted? They adapted Wheel of Time, and they adapted let's see, Rings of Power. They adapted that from the glossary of the Lord of the Rings books. And I think that's just been a stellar hit. People are really, really into Rings of Power. And now they're gonna make Amazon's gonna make Stargate a Stargate reboot. But they're taking the bold move of discarding Brad Wright and his history of working with that show, and they're just going to set that aside, and they're just going to invent something new. This is going to be a good plan. Any thoughts on that, sir?
I like it. Let's see a new story. That's fine. What I mean, they've been telling new stories this whole time, so
Okay.
they can't
All
come
right.
up with anything new in Hollywood. So let's revamp something old.
Okay.
I'm,
Yeah.
I
Hey.
like Stargate and whatever, but I just I'm not. It's hard for me to get excited about this shit anymore. I don't. If you were to come out and say that there's okay, that's cool. I like I'm just sick of I don't know. I'm
Tired
not
of reboots? You want some new
I'm not
stuff?
Peter positive today. I'm just
Yeah,
not a
that's okay.
positive person today, man.
That's all right. Maybe maybe we should revisit that ad for Mood gummies.
Maybe. I don't yeah, I'm not.
All right. All right. All right. All right. So let's see. Basically, this looks like the next dumpster fire. And Amazon's got a they've made some shows that have been okay. But anytime these studios pick up the rights to old IP and then signal that they're just gonna just totally discard what came before and just do something else. Not great.
It could be no, it could be good and it could be bad. I've seen good things come out of that, but then you've also seen bad things come out of it where they've completely changed everything and tried to be woke,
Yeah.
tried to appeal to a small margin of the population and then it backfires on them and then they're left with their hands in the air going, "What happened? We didn't see this coming." And sometimes they try to tell the story and completely change it and do a wonderful job. Dave Filoni with Star Wars. He's one of those
Right.
that if he was like, "Hey, I've got a brand new idea," we'd be like, "Yeah, go, yeah, yeah,
Do
whatever it
it.
is,
Whatever you want, Dave. Just
do it."
make stuff up. It's gonna be good. Because
So
he cares about characters and story.
The Stargate franchise, I personally wouldn't have picked that one, but I mean, it's not like they could pick whatever they wanted to do. I would really love to see the Jim Henson Company really like do a new Farscape. Wouldn't you like to see
Oh,
a new Farscape?
okay. I'm down with this idea. Now, here's the thing. Claudia Black and what's his name? Ben. What's
I
his
don't know
name?
their names.
Yeah, whatever. It's been 20 years,
You
so
don't have
they're a
to
little
have them
older.
again. Completely new
So
story.
you're
There's
you
another
you get rid
world
of
out
them.
there. It's like old Tikiti Witiki Kikipiki. What's his name? When
White Taika Waititi.
Taika Waititi, he said when he months ago when he got a hold of the Star Wars stuff, and he was, they're like, "Hey, we got Takiki Wikiki or whatever." Hell, I can't say his name,
Yeah,
and he's
Taika
going to do the
Waititi.
new Star Wars stuff, and then he tweeted out, "Hey," he basically tweeted out something that was like, "Hey, all the space monks and the magic space monks and the evil stormtroopers in the galaxy. There's
Yeah.
other things that go on, and we're going to tell those stories." And I'm like,
Well,
"Yay!
that's good.
I don't
See,
want a
that's
story
smart
about
though.
Jedi or stormtroopers. Tell us something else."
That's setting expectations. So he's starting instead of saying like we're going to revisit the franchise and we're going to give you everything you want. He's saying he's starting the expectation of we're going to revisit the franchise and we're going to do everything different. You're going to be disappointed, and then when it comes out, you'll be like, I like this. I thought I was going to hate it. I like it. That's
I'm
smart.
not, but not everybody's looking at it like going to be disappointed. I'm looking at it like, oh wow,
Right?
fresh,
Yeah.
something fresh. You're not force feeding me. You're not
We got
pissing down my back and telling me it's rain. You know that because that's what they're doing every time they release something like this. Not just Star Wars, but all those damn Marvel movies. Those Marvel movies were the worst ones, and I love Marvel. But looking back on it, hindsight's 2020. And looking back on it, they just basically pissed all over us for our money. They're like,
Of
okay,
course they did.
we can tell this story in 50 movies and make them go watch every fucking one of them.
Yeah. I mean, that became super evident during when they started licensing for Netflix, and they were like, "Hold on, we can take this 3-hour story and stretch it over 10 episodes and make people watch this for a long, long time." Ooh, let's do that with the movies too.
Mhm.
These long ass, boring movies.
So that's Marvel kind of burnt me on this type of stuff like this Stargate story. You know, your
Right.
initial question was, "Are you excited about this?" And no, I'm not
Right.
because I've been burnt and I'm
Well,
just
yeah.
not excited.
Well, here's
Will
the
I
thing.
watch it? Probably, maybe.
The only reason to buy a franchise like this is because you believe there are fans that still love the original movie, or
Mhm.
more likely the original TV show because it ran for like 20 years or something. And you want to capture that nostalgia
You don't wanna
and
capture the
create an
nostalgia, you want to
audience.
capture the fans' money is
That's
what you're
right.
trying to
Well,
do.
you get the fans by lassoing their nostalgia, but then you get these egocentric, narcissistic creators that are like, "No, we can do something new, and we can modernize it, and we can make it reflect the reality of our day." And then all the characters are gay. Half of them have blue hair. Like that's gonna go to a planet where there's no men at all.
Every storyteller wants to tell the story that reflects what's going on in our day. And if you look at
Right,
all of the stories that we read through history and in school and whatnot, they all reflect something that was going on at that time because the writer wrote about that. And that hasn't changed. People still want to do that. Today, we don't write in books as much. We write screenplays and television
right,
and movies and stuff like that. So they still do that. So that's what we're watching is modern day. This is nothing new. Writers have always wanted to.
sure,
I want to translate a story from what is
yeah.
going on. Even me creating D&D worlds have modeled some of my governmental, like the race of elves are doing something different with the race of dwarves that reflects something that's going on or something that happened in modern day society. You know, so
So
this is
so
nothing.
how do you balance as a creative person? How do you balance uh I guess I'm going to say knee jerk reaction to tell a story of your time? It's a modern story, right? How do you balance that with telling a story that is timeless? Because it's the stories that are timeless that are the ones that people repeat.
You don't. You have it's the law of odds. All right.
Uh-huh.
So this year you're going to have 5,000 people that's going to write or create something that reflects this moment in time in society,
Yeah.
and one of them is going to be worth a crap that we watch over and over again or read over and over again or listen to over and over again. And then in 10 years, if we're still listening, reading, watching that one, that's when we decide that this is the new War and Peace. You know, War and
Right.
Peace wasn't when that novel was finished, they didn't immediately say, "Here's the new classic." You know, it's
No.
not like Call of the Wild. Here's an instant look. We wrote a classic. That's yeah.
Yeah, I tried to read Tolstoy's War and Peace, and I was like, man, I just don't care about these
I
Russian
know,
people.
I know. But if you were to read it back then, you might have,
Yeah, right.
you
Yeah.
know, because it reflected
Um.
what's going on.
So Jeremy corrected me. The Farscape main actor was Ben Browder, and I like Ben Browder. I don't know how we would recast a Farscape, but I think a new Farscape would be cool. Now, hold on. Let me just ask you this other question, Deacon. If we recast Claudia Black and recast Ben Browder, would we recast the puppet characters, or would they be exactly the same?
It just depends on their race and longevity and whatnot. But yeah, I would think the pilot
Would you
would.
update them? You know, I mean,
No,
whatever that would mean, or would you want to see them as you saw them before?
I would keep the ship and the pilot,
Yeah,
and that's probably the only ones. And I would have all new
and there
stuff.
was
And it
and
would
there was
definitely be
Dargo or whatever. He wasn't a dog, but he was just like
yeah, he was like a whatever race.
yeah. And
I
then there
would
was the blue
definitely
chick.
I would definitely have different races or different cast, but, maybe keep the pilot and the ship. Weren't they intertwined
I
anyway?
They weren't. Well, it was like
Symbiotic
a
relationship,
what's that word, that S word that means like
symbiotic?
like yeah, symbiotic. It was like a symbiotic kind of relationship between those two.
Oh, okay.
I'm
That's what I
thinking that
thought.
maybe one of the original cast may have died. Actually, I'm not sure. I think it was maybe this dude. Um,
It was a good show.
yeah,
I like the Jim
maybe
Henson
he's
stuff.
maybe he's
I wanted to
fine.
be a puppeteer.
Okay. Oh yeah, Gigi Edgley's character Chiana. That she was my favorite character on the show.
That's right.
Remember Chiana? She was cool. And I've seen her in some other stuff since anyway. Okay, so Farscape revival would be cool. Manuel has said he's never seen Farscape, to
Oh,
which I say, Manuel, dude, go watch Farscape. It's amazing. Where can you watch Farscape? Yeah, it's probably on Prime or somewhere. It's somewhere. It's Paramount. I bet you it's Paramount Plus, right? Sci-Fi Channel, whoever owns that thing.
well, look.
It was awesome. It was this cool Australian. It was filmed in Australia or New Zealand, and it was a big Jim Henson production. So all of the alien characters, most of them were like Jim Henson puppet type things.
Yeah.
David Buckham says that all sci-fi movies are retelling of Isaac Asimov's series, Foundation series.
You can watch it on Prime.
Prime, there it is. I can go dig the
With
DVDs out of my
ads.
box.
With ads.
Rigel. Who's Rigel? Which one was Rigel? I can't remember which
The
one was
little
Rigel.
alien with glasses or whatnot.
Oh, yes, that guy. See, I love characters like that because he was just like I don't care about any of you people. You need to
What was he? He was
take
like
care of
rich.
me.
Initially,
Yeah,
he was like rich, and he was just like getting a ride or something.
yeah. He was like some sort of a cast out, and he was basically like
Yeah.
a yeah, he was basically like a wealthy elite, and like you scum are disgusting, but take me where I need to go. And Rigel's amazing. Yes. See, I forgot about Rigel. Yes, I'm down for Farscape revival. What are you talking? Oh, okay, fair enough.
I know.
Man,
I
what are you
know.
talking about, JJ? You haven't even seen A
Right.
Christmas Story.
That's
Okay,
right. What zing
1
touche
point for
right
you.
there.
1 point for you. That's good. All right, we got a few minutes left. I want to tell this story real quick. But it will not take long.
All right, and then I'll bring up my damn.
Yes, do it. Do it. All right. Social justice comic creator organizes a mob to cancel Mike Barron's campaign. Mike Barron is a one of the guys kind of involved in Comicsgate. He's probably I'm going to say second or third generation Comicsgate. There was the people that initially revolted, and then that group, as it started making independent comics and making money selling comics and cool stories, it started attracting other creators that had either aged out of the big two or whatever. Mike Barron is a longtime writer for The Punisher over at Marvel and The Flash at DC, and also the Nexus and a series called The Badger. He has already had several crowdfunding successes, including The Thin Blue Line, which was a comic book about real world police, or basically reflecting kind of the police in the modern era of defund the police, right? And then also a book called Florida Man, which was literally about a guy that in Florida. So he was like riding an alligator and all kinds of wild stuff. So everything that you think of the Florida Man meme, make that a comic book. And that's what the Florida Man book was. His current campaign is called Private American, and it was launched on Indiegogo. And it's about a Cuban American that it was a special forces SEAL dude or something like that, and who ex Green Beret, who lives in South Texas, and he has a tragic experience with the cartels. So the cartels kill somebody or do something like that, and then he goes on a vigilante rampage. And as you can see, he's probably machine gunning cartel guys, kicking them in the face and stabbing them with knives. So cartel guys are bad guys, and this guy is like a good guy. And if you look kind of close right here, he's got the "Don't Tread on Me" snake as his symbol on his on his vest. Cuban American, ex-military, seeking vengeance, a la Punisher, right, against cartels instead of the mob. So a bunch of wackadoodle crazy people on Indiegogo called his campaign racist because it's killing cartel people. and got his account, got his campaign shadow banned, so you cannot even search for it if you go to look for it. And so they moved it over to Kickstarter, and then these wackadoodles did it again, and then he's moved the campaign over to a new site called Crowdfunder. So this actually looks like a pretty interesting story. The biggest thing, though, that I kind of want to note about this is that with the Twitter files, we are seeing what happens is that a company, it gets established with some mission, and then psychopathic ideologues get entrenched into the positions in those companies where they can gatekeep, and they can block your account or suspend your account or shadow ban your account. And then they lie about doing that, which is what happened on Twitter, but they did it anyway. And they suppress your reach, and they interfere with your business and interfere with you selling comics and stuff like that. So not only is it happening, as we've said, with Twitter and probably at YouTube and Facebook and all of this other stuff, it's happening on the crowdfunding sites that individual independent creators are using to market and distribute and sell their own products, removing the corporate middleman from the structure. So it's creators making stuff, fans supporting stuff, and buying books. And I have a Mike Baron story or two up here on my shelf, and good stories. So, but they just claim racism, and they claim whatever it is that violates the social mores of these far left people. They capture these positions, they capture these companies, and then they push people out of business. It's actually tortious interference in some ways, because the wackadoodles in this case run a different comic company. So they're basically doing unfair competition against Mike Baron. With all that being said, if you're normally, I would say I would recommend books and stuff like on Indiegogo here. Let's see if you can even purchase it. Yeah, you can still purchase it on Indiegogo. You just can't search for it. So if you're in any way interested in this story, I would say go check out Private American on Indiegogo. I'll tweet a link out about it or something like that. And support creators. But here we have another company. Indiegogo is probably going to get like totally captured by the woke mob, and creators got to find somewhere else to do and to communicate. So I saw that this morning, and I was like, man, these people, they just do not stop with their attempt to suppress free speech. Like, it doesn't even matter if the story was racist. Let somebody tell a racist story, and then people can be like, I didn't like that. That was racist. But I don't even think it is, because cartels are evil motherfuckers that have bodies littered across my border. So fuck the cartels. I'm in favor of declaring war on cartels in Mexico. Just
then you do that, and you can have your little show here by yourself, and I'm going to see you later, because I don't want to be associated.
Oh no. You don't want to get whacked.
You're going to declare war on the cartels in Mexico, then you're going to have a one-man show, because I'm fucking leaving.
Deacon doesn't want to end up in a trash bag. All right. He's not joking.
I'm not kidding.
I'm not that close to the cartels. I just don't want, I
don't know them closer than I do.
Yeah. Well,
all right. I got to go.
True. All right. No, you're not going to tell us what your Christmas Christmas movie tomorrow?
Yeah, we'll have to. We've missed the opportunity to be stupid.
All right.
Around.
Yeah, all right. I get you. We will do we'll do another Christmas movie tomorrow. It'll be great. It'll be the best show all week. That's for sure. All right. Anything else? No? Nothing. I think that's it. I'm gonna go wake up my kids. Can you see my hat?
Yep.
This is the way.